Warning, this video may contain content that may not be suitable for children or anyone else that is easily offended. Strong language, graphic content, nudity, bad jokes, and a possible idiot, aka myself, may be featured in the following clip. Viewer discretion is advised. Channel is not responsible for any damages that you receive watching this video. Hey, what's up, y'all? Zems. Today we're going to be reacting to Mr. Nightmare's 3 chilling true Blizzard stories. If you guys haven't seen the video already, be sure you swoop down to that description box, hit the link, and go follow my boy Mr. Nightmare and watch the video in its entirety without me pausing and stopping through the whole thing. A lot of people don't like when I talk through the videos. That's why I said from the beginning, if you don't want me talking through it, please click the link. Don't send hatred down in the comment section. It doesn't bother me. But yeah, man, the giveaway is still going. Jennifer Medeiros, you are the winner. But if you do not message me in 2 days, someone else will be selected. The secondary winner has already been notified, and I'm just waiting on a response. But yeah, man, hopefully you guys are enjoying it. We back at it this week. If you guys have any recommendations, feel free to let me know. We're going to take a break from Mr. Ballin'. So if you have any recommendations from Mr. Nightmare, Nuke's Top 5, Chills, Nightmare Files, anything like that, please let me know. I bet I did it in the comment section too. Story 1.
I was in the Adirondack Mountains for a hiking and skiing trip. I rented an Airbnb cabin for the week, kind of nestled in its own private section of woods. Perfect for skiers and hikers. Though there was news of an incoming blizzard all of a sudden one day that week. I wasn't just going to cut my trip 3 days short though, and I already paid for it. I think it was a Friday, I don't remember. But I woke up that morning to knocks at the front door of my cabin. I looked out the window in my bedroom, and I was greeted with nothing but white sheets of snow covering everything. With
red flag. It hasn't even been 1 minute yet. It's already red flags. You knock on the door, you don't see nothing but snow, and it's a blizzard going on. It can't not be UPS. Can't be Amazon. Can't be FedEx. Can't be USPS. It's either a Yeti or someone out there to get your butt cheeks. You know, 9 times out of 10, someone's out there to get the butt cheeks. All right, and it's not gonna be my butt cheeks. I'm about to clench them tight. If I have to hold the door closed with my butt cheeks on the handle, that's what I'm gonna have to do, bruh. Buns of steel.
heavy snow still piling on. I looked to the front door, and there was this woman in a parka who looked rather distressed. Quickly threw on a change of clothes and opened the door. She was some 40-something-year-old woman. Her cheeks were red and she looked freezing. She asked in a...
"Whoa, Mr. Nightmare, her cheeks was red, you little dog, you little freak."
I guess as polite way as possible if she could seek shelter here until the storm blew over. I figured it was the gentleman thing to do. So I invited her in and told her to make herself comfortable while I heated up some coffee.
I'm sorry, I keep stopping it, but there's time to be a good person, and there's times that you have to take a break from being a good person. Middle of the blizzard, a lady knocks and says she can stay here until the blizzard blows over. How did you get here in the first place? Whoa. Red flags, people. I told you. Zems Survival Skills Classes 101. I'm going to open classes, bruh. If you guys want to attend, please sure to let me know. Or make sure to let me know down in the comment section here. I'm going to make sure you guys understand the red flags in every situation. If you go inside school, right, and you're like, "Damn, I forgot to do the homework." And now one person raises his hand like, "Oh, teacher, you forgot to collect the homework." Red flag. Get rid of them.
She plopped herself down on the couch and asked if I lived here. I told her it was just an Airbnb, then asked where she was coming from. She said she also rented an Airbnb up here, but she got caught in the blizzard and couldn't find her way back. She said her name was Meredith.
Meredith, that
I
sounds
handed her a
dangerous.
cup of coffee, but she refused it and said she was really tired. Then she asked if she could just rest on the couch. I allowed it, though, as I ate my breakfast. I can't lie, I felt really awkward.
Yeah, forget that, bruh. I need your birth certificate, your social security number, home of address. I need your next of kin. I need an emergency contact number, blood type, hair color, eye color. I need all that on the down sheet on a piece of paper before you can sleep on my couch, bruh. Those are the 8 things that you will need in order to stay in my cabin during the blizzard. Make sure you got all those things ready and copies for myself, and I'll give the originals back to you.
I didn't really know what to do after my breakfast. I didn't feel comfortable just hanging in the living room kitchen area, so I went back to my room to watch TV. The snow was really coming down outside, and the wind was so aggressive that the whistling shrieked through the windows. Not too long after, another knock at the door. I once again looked out the window. This time there was a man outside. I went to open the door, with Meredith now sitting up on the couch, asking who it was. I told her I don't know.
Why she
I
so
opened the door. It was like
interested?
deja vu, because the man basically gave the same story, that he was caught in the blizzard and needed a place to stay. At this point, having already let Meredith in, I had to let him in too.
No!
I told him the same thing I told her, make yourself comfortable. He introduced himself as Mark. Meredith
Meredith and Mark, and they just happened to come at the same exact time. Not the same, like 10 minutes apart, 5 minutes apart. Like, red flags, man. Bless his heart, but he's about to get clapped in the worst of ways. Don't let Mark and Meredith in your cabin. He said the same thing, so I'll let him in. If they had the exact same story, why would you?
And Mark. They introduced themselves to each other as well, and they had a laugh at the fact that they were both in the same boat. Then they
crazy.
both kind of playfully praised me for letting them in. Meredith seemed more lively now, more open to conversation. So we talked about a bunch of random stuff, until there was nothing really left to talk about. The day dragged on into the night. It grew dark and cold inside the cabin. The snow was showing no signs of receding. I offered them whatever food was in the fridge throughout the day. Unfortunately for me, it seemed it was approaching that time that I had to designate where they would be sleeping. But Meredith kind of did that for me. She asked if I would allow the two of them to stay here for the night. I had to say yes. So they both slept on the couches.
You didn't have to do anything, bro. This is your Airbnb. You didn't have to nothing, man. Please, my good people out there with the good hearts. We need you, all right? We need that kind of peace and love, man. We need you guys to stick around. So don't do anything like this. You know, call the fire department or something. Let them, give them a blanket, a heated blanket, and send them on their way. Give them something, but don't let them stay overnight.
Slept in my room, of course. I fell asleep rather easily, with the knowledge that my belongings were under my bed and couldn't be easily stolen by these two strangers.
Better hope you locked the door.
I'm usually a heavy sleeper, but this night I woke up to a loud thump. I sat up. The door to my bedroom was open.
Here we go.
The sound of the outside wind was incredibly loud. I discovered the front door to the cabin was open too, and neither Meredith nor Mark were on the couch. I went out to the porch for a second, just to look into the woods, where fresh-looking footsteps leading into the snow, and I could see Meredith just standing out there in the snow, facing me.
Lock the door.
What looked to be my travel bag. I yelled at her to come back here, along with a few choice words.
And she ran.
I ran to my room to get my boots.
I came back,
As
she
I
was
rushed
gone.
to put the boots on while on the couch, I noticed my bedroom door was now shut. I 100%
Mark.
did not close that door. Was I about to open it? Hell no. Especially not after I heard footsteps on the other side of the door. I got my boots and coat on and ran to the front porch again. But now Meredith wasn't alone. Someone, a man, I couldn't tell if it was Mark or not, was standing next to her, holding her hand, and they were both facing the house. I didn't care about the bag anymore.
Wait.
I ran to my Jeep and drove through the 3 feet of snow. There had to be more than just those two people in the house that night, because someone else was in the bedroom. I was too nice. I let my guard down with two strangers.
Oh, I gotta
I
sneeze.
paid the price. I'm just happy they didn't kill me, though. Somehow I got the vibe they were trying to do more than just rob me of my bag.
Good thing his shoes was on the outside, because he went back in and his door room was closed and somebody's on the other side. You know who it was? Those two. Okay, look. I'm about to break it down for you guys right here, right? Meredith was the recon, you know what I'm saying? Reconnaissance. Send the old poor little Meredith over there, poor woman in distress. You get what I'm saying? Oh no, my heart's gonna open up for her. You know what I'm saying? She goes in. She's like, okay, he's a sweet talking guy. Mark, on the other hand, already probably told her like, hey, you're gonna go in there, sweeten him up. You know, he's gonna treat you better because you're a woman. Give him a little fill out for 5 or 10 minutes. If you don't come back, if I don't see you in 5 or 10 minutes, then I'm gonna go in and knock on the door, and then we're gonna do the same thing. That was the plan, right? So Meredith goes in. She's chatting him up. Oh, it's making herself comfortable. Well, she gets too comfortable. She didn't say, can I have a seat? She plopped down on the couch. You know what I'm saying? When anybody say people flop down on the couch, they're pretty comfortable, which means they've probably done something like this before. You just don't walk into somebody's house and just, you know what I'm saying? The first thing you say is like, hey, can I have a seat? You mind if I sit here? You know what I'm saying? Boom. Red flag number 1. 2, he knocked on the door 10 minutes after her and said the exact same thing that she said. Nobody has the same exact story, and why are you guys out there walking in the blizzard? That's red flag number 2. Then he said I was going to pick a spot for him to go to sleep, but Meredith did that for me. Red flag number 3. She picked who? Ain't nobody about to tell me where you can and cannot sleep in my Airbnb. If I want you to sleep next to the refrigerator, sleep next to the refrigerator. If I want you to sleep inside the cupboard, you sleep inside the cupboard. If I want you under the stove, inside the oven, that's what you're going to sleep, or you can get out of my house. Mark, he was the muscle, you know what I'm saying? He was the guy there just in case anything went wrong and to make sure Meredith is protected. Now, the person behind that door was the person that was in charge of Meredith and Mark. And I'm pretty sure if he would have went back there, he probably would have beat him up real bad and took his stuff, or he would have killed him. And that's why Meredith was out there with his luggage, because they were still in there taking his stuff. And I think when he woke up, the dude hid somewhere. And when he left out of the room, the guy shut it to finish what he was doing. It was finish up what he was doing inside that room. And all this could have been avoided with 2 letters. N-O. I'll break it down for you guys because I care. Story number 2.
My older brother and I used to love to play out in the snow.
I
We live
don't.
by the woods. I'm not giving my town or state or any other details of our location though. One night our parents let us go outside to play in the blizzard. We figured playing hide and seek would be fun since the footprints in the snow would create a new factor in the game. So I was the one hiding first. We were playing in the woods with flashlights. I turned mine off once I found a place to hide, just to not give away my location. I ducked down in the deep snow between two big trees. I tried covering my tracks in the snow, but I couldn't possibly get all of them. I saw my brother's flashlight in the distance, coming in my direction. He was definitely going to find me, so I ran in the dark deeper into the woods. I definitely lost him because I didn't see his light anymore, or maybe he turned it off. Also, we knew these woods, and I knew which direction I was going. I wasn't going to get lost. Eventually, as I kept walking though, I found another trail of footprints. They seemed like they were left there only a few minutes ago, so I started following them, expecting to find a deer at the end.
He seen footprints and expected us to find a deer. I don't know what kind of deer this place has, but I've never seen a deer wearing snow boots, Nikes, Jordans, Reeboks, Skechers, whatever it is. I've never seen a deer with a footprint. I've seen deer tracks. I've never heard of a deer shoe print. Might be New York, son. Deers be like dead ass feet.
The footprints became more fresh, however. I started to realize they were boot prints, not animal footprints. This also meant I was getting closer to whoever just left these boot prints.
Go the other
I
way.
was thinking at first that it was my brother. Maybe he ran past me without me hearing it. I only thought that because I didn't see how or why anyone else would be out here in the middle of a blizzard.
You about to find
With
out.
my light still on, I noticed something black sticking out of this big pile of snow, which seemed to sit right next to the boot marks. I stopped and examined it, and brushed some of the snow off the object. I brushed enough snow off to realize it was a big black garbage bag. This didn't look good. I already smelled something foul in there.
Dead body.
Garbage? That's what I was hoping for.
I bet any kind of money it's a sack of Mountain Dew. Anything in there smelling the foul odor, it gotta be Mountain Dew, bro. Mountain Dew is the culprit. I don't care what nobody else say. It's the culprit, bro. Mountain Dew's in that bag, 100%. I wouldn't have bet everything on it.
I tried to find the opening of the bag, and eventually just gave up and tore the bag open with my nails. I gagged the instant I saw what was inside.
Mountain Dew.
A decomposing human body.
Same thing.
When I say gagged, I'm talking coughing loudly and uncontrollably in shock and disgust. And I think that gave away my position to my brother, because pretty soon his light started shining on me. I
Right.
turned to him, his light in my face, and made a hand motion signaling for him to run, go home. Rightfully so, he was confused and kept approaching me. So I ran to him and told him to turn off his flashlight, pointed at the bag, and whispered what was inside. He didn't believe me, even
So
after
he
I
went
begged
over
him
and
to
looked.
just go home with me. He went to the bag to see for himself, and when he saw I wasn't lying, he put his hand over his mouth. As the older brother, he started guiding me and nudging me back to the house, trying not to make a sound. Though, as we moved, we kept looking back, thinking we heard footsteps in the snow behind us. We moved faster every time. He had to keep the flashlight on, otherwise it would be pitch black. Then, I think at the same time, we both looked back after hearing a footstep again, and saw about 50 feet away or so, there was someone standing there, right in the light of my brother's flashlight,
Witnesses.
watching. From there, we ran all the way back home. The man yelled something at us, but neither of us could make out what he said. We got back to the house 2 minutes later and told our parents, who called the police to report the dead body.
And it wasn't there.
The police came and asked us a bunch of questions. Then they sent out a search team based on our description of the location. They didn't make us go back out there. The search turned up no results, but they resumed the next day in the daylight, which was when we were asked for assistance in retracing our steps.
It wasn't there.
We did the best we could, but the body was never found. It wouldn't be much of a surprise if whoever was out there moved the body after realizing there were 2 witnesses. We were literally just little kids when this happened, and we were still being followed by possibly the person who hid that body there to begin with.
I want to know who did
I
it.
still wonder if we just narrowly escaped with our lives.
I'm pretty sure they did. If he wanted to, he could have rushed out of that bushes and pretty much hit him over the side of his head. Because he was right
It
there.
started on the night of the first snowstorm of the year.
He was watching him.
I was off the next day for work, so I was just relaxing in my bed watching a movie, drinking hot cocoa. All of a sudden, something hit my window that nearly gave me a heart attack. I looked at my window and saw the fresh mark of a snowball having just splattered over the glass.
They want whoop.
I opened the window to look outside, and I heard a kid's laughter. Well, that answered that. I closed the window again, and my attention shifted back to the movie.
And again.
Not too long before a second pow at the window, followed by the kid's laughter. This time I ignored it. I knew that by giving the kid a reaction, they would keep going. Apparently that worked, because no more snowballs were thrown at my window that night. The next night, though, it happened again, this time while I was asleep. I woke up to a much louder and more ferocious bang at the window from a snowball. I opened the window and took a look outside. Though it wasn't snowing anymore, I still couldn't see too far out onto the lawn. Though I did hear the laughing of the kid again. It was a boy's laughter. It sounded like a 10-year-old. I yelled something out the window at him. I think it was a threat, but nothing too serious to be directed at a child. Didn't happen again that night. Next day, a lot of the snow had melted, but most of the ground was still covered in a white sheet. After turning off my light in my room, I lay awake, anticipating and dreading the sound of a snowball hitting the glass that would once again make me jump out of my skin.
I would be mad, bruh.
And just like clockwork, it happened. That goddamn kid was back. I was ready this time. I jumped out of bed and looked out the window. This time, I saw just for maybe half a second the back of a kid running away into the darkness. Threw on my shoes and coat and ran outside to find him. No. I found where his footsteps started at my window, and I followed them. I ran as fast as I could, trying to catch up to him. His footprints led me down a grass field until I reached a road. The footprints stopped at a big sycamore tree. Wrapped around it were two white bands of...
What's a sycamore tree? A sycamore? Sycamore or sickle? I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section. I might look it up after this video, though.
Flowers. There was also a wooden cross planted in front of the tree. It was a memorial for a fatal car crash here. I double and then triple checked to see if the footsteps went any other direction. But they mysteriously stopped right there. I walked back home and went to bed, a bit disturbed. The next day I did some research and inquired with some locals, and I found out a mother and her son died in a car crash running into that tree. When I learned this, I got goosebumps, but I didn't want to find out how old the son was. I couldn't bring myself to do it. God forbid the son was around 10 years old. I'd forever be haunted by this, even more so than I already am. The next night, I thought I heard a child's laughter outside my window. But it may have just been my imagination running wild.
It wasn't your imagination?
I had to take sleeping pills.
How was it your imagination running wild, bruh? If you got hit with snowballs 2 to 3 nights in a row, bruh, it's not your imagination. Little man's out there throwing snowballs, which is kind of creepy, but at the same time, it's kind of sweet. I guess you can say in some odd, kind of weird way, no? I mean, kids passed away. He's still on Earth having fun and, wants to play because he didn't get that opportunity, as a kid. Dang, that's crazy. I don't know how to feel about this. I mean, it's creepy for sure. I wouldn't want no ghost throwing a snowball at my window, but listen to the story, kind of just feels like the kid wants to play.
For a whole month, just so that I wouldn't be awake terrified all night.
Sleeping pills. That's going to do it, guys. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to like, comment, and on the subscribe button, be a part of Murder Across today. Again, if no one told you today, I love you. This video is by Mr.Nightmare, so make sure you guys swoop down to that description box, hit that link, and go follow Mr.Nightmare and watch the video in its entirety while I'll be pausing and stopping through the whole thing. Like I said in the beginning of the video, the giveaway is still going, so keep your hopes up. Unless that person messages me, then you guys still have a chance. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching these. I really, really, really appreciate it, man. So we're about to keep going. If you guys have any recommendations from the content creators that I said earlier, Mr.Nightmare, Nightmare Files, Chills, Nuke Top 5, any of those or any somebody else, please let me know. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Let me know down in the comment section which story you thought was the creepiest. For me, I would say it had to be the snow one, where the kids found a dead body inside the snow. Because I want to know what happened to the body, and I want to know who killed her or killed him. And I wonder why the guy didn't chase him. He probably was too busy trying to figure out what he's going to do with the body because he thought he was going to go back and get help. So he probably took it, put it in his car or something, and put it somewhere else.